Hello again, everybody. So, I kind of decided that, Moonlight Peaks, that I will try to get that uploaded and everything tomorrow. Should be uploaded tomorrow. Um, and everything. Um, I did want to give you guys kind of a quick update. Um, this will be the last bit of family drama or my family drama for a bit. Just because, you know, like I said in yesterday's video, it's like most of this is not my business, even though I'm being drug into it. Not entirely sure, but just because I'm, you know, my let's be honest, my dad tried to get me involved in it. Um, so basically, I just want to say it is kind of funny because, like I said, I'm an overthinker. I do tend to overthink things. And like I said, the weird thing was just that the FaceTime call came out of the blue, and that my dad seemed to be really concerned about me all of a sudden, and I was like, where is this coming from? Like, I do not understand. And I was thinking about it yesterday. After I recorded and uploaded the video, I was thinking over it, and I think I've come to a conclusion as to what possibly might be behind the whole thing. Because I think I mentioned this in yesterday's video, but my sister and her husband have had financial problems on and off. The weird thing, though, is that, and like I said, the other not so weird thing, but like, because my sister and I are not close. We don't hang out, we don't talk. We've never FaceTime, just the two of us, anything like that. And I get that she's busy, she works, and she's helping to take care of 3 teenage girls. I do understand that. I'm not in any way saying, oh, she should have time to weekly FaceTime with me. No, I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is that last year, around my birthday, I emailed, and I mentioned this yesterday in the video, but I emailed my sister, and I can't remember the reason behind it, although since it was in the month of October, and since my niece Shay's birthday is in October, I have a feeling maybe it was something like that, like I was trying to figure out what to do for her, if I could do anything, and that kind of stuff. And so I was like, so we emailed back and forth. And like, the weird thing is that the emails were fine. They weren't, as far as I'm aware, they weren't passive aggressive. They weren't hidden subtext or anything like that. It was just we were chatting back and forth kind of normally, kind of talking about things. And then my sister mentioned in one of the emails that she was tired of the 9 to 5 job and that she wanted to either go to only working part time or that she wanted to do something more like kind of akin to a side hustle, like selling stuff online. She didn't go into any details, so like I don't know. And all I said back was, I think that's a great idea, good luck, that kind of thing. And it basically ended with, like, the last email was one I sent to her. And I was like, hey, do you happen to know Shay's email address? Because I had tried to email Shay, who is my niece, by the way, my sister's daughter, Not that her other 2 kids aren't her daughter as well, because yes, they are. But again, at the same time, it was like Shay was one. Like, I helped rate Shay because Carrie at the time was a single mom and she would work, so she would drop off Shay at our place, and I was living with my parents by that point, and so I would help take care of Shay, and I would help mainly in the entertainment category, like we would play games together, we would watch videos together, that kind of thing. She'd help me when I was exercising on the Wii Fit, that kind of thing. And so it's like I don't know the other 2 girls all that much, and that's fine. I don't have to, whatever, it's up to them. I'm not gonna push, or not gonna be like, why don't the 2 of you try to email me or try to, And it's especially hard because I'm all the way over here, so even if they wanted to, they couldn't, like, text me. They would have to download WhatsApp and use that, and like I understand that, and I also understand that I really only met these girls one time, and that's fine. I totally okay with that. That's not a big deal. But anyway, I feel like I'm getting off of the point. So I was sitting here and I was thinking over what Dad had said, because Dad was basically leading the conversation, and all of a sudden it clicked. Because the first thing well, not the first thing he said, but the first serious thing he said to me was, your sister and her husband are having problems, so I want to make sure you're okay. And like, I was thinking of it from the aspect of marital problems. Like, they were, because they've also not always, they've struggled. They've been like normal human people who struggle with stuff. And so I was just like, okay, well, that's, but no. And like, this weird thing, because he never ended up saying what the issue was. But my opinion he was wanting to know if I had money. And I'll tell you why I thought that. Because he didn't say what kind of problems Carrie, my sister, and her husband were having. And then he leads into, I want to make sure you're okay. And I'm like, that's just because at the point where the conversation is happening, where the FaceTime is happening, I'm like, of course we're fine, you know? And, well, and here's the other thing, you know, I started talking to him because I thought he was talking about more Keith and I having problems, or, you know, BBB getting out and meeting more people, and I tried to talk to him about that, and he cut me off. He, like, interrupted me and said, no, that's not important. And then he asked me if what at the time felt like a really weird question. He asked me if I had a checking account and or a savings account, and I'm like, I have a checking account. I don't have a savings account yet because I plan on getting one once I start working, you know, once I get a job and stuff and can start making some money. And so then he was like, you know, when I kind of started to say, you know, Keith gives me a little bit of money every month, you know, I managed to make it last through the month. And so, and then I think I got a little bold, and I didn't outright accuse him of treating me poorly over the years, but I kind of implied, I don't even remember what I said now. I wish I could go back and, like, rewatch videos. Like, I don't know if there's a way to do that on FaceTime, but I would love to see exactly what I said. But I remember saying something that didn't imply, like I wasn't outright because of the way you treated me or anything like that, but it was, let's just put it this way, from what I remember, it was hinting toward, you know, that, I don't know, like I said, I don't even remember what I was saying at the time, but I said something that hinted at, you know, my dad not being on my side very much throughout my life, and let's put it that way. And then like, he was like, oh, okay, well, we gotta go, so, and then the call ended, and so, you know, at the time, I'm thinking, what could Carrie have seen? And I was worried that she'd maybe see my YouTube channel and was taking something from there, because I know there's been a couple videos where I've talked about Keith, and I've talked about wanting to go out and meet more people, and I don't know if she took something from that and told that. But again, and I think I mentioned this yesterday, but if my sister had found my YouTube channel and told my parents, I would not have heard the end of it. It would not have been a short little call. It would have been a long, how dare you do that? How dare you air out? And it's like, and that's the funny thing. It's like, it has been a hot minute. I was back living with my parents, like, at least three, probably longer than I did my last video about, about how I felt about being at home, living with my parents. It's like, I still call that place home, but this is my home now. England is my home. Exeter is my home. I am, like, I've gotten to the point where I know pretty much, like, the main thoroughfare, the main street. I know where the library is. I know where a lot of the shops are. I know where Boots is, I know where the bookstore is, which is very important. But yeah, so, I know where my doctor's office is. I know how to get there. So I just, I was sitting here and I was trying to figure it out. I was trying to go, what the heck could be the issue? What the heck, what's wrong? Why do you think I'm in trouble? Or that I'm not married to a wonderful man who takes very good care of me, and, we're partners. I think I said this yesterday too, but Keith and I are partners. We try to work together to do stuff. We've fallen into, roles, so to speak. Like, Keith's usually one who does shopping after he gets off of work. Unless I happen to have money and or see something while I'm out, and see something while I'm out, and I'm like, I'm gonna try to do this, or, I stopped cooking so much. I should probably do a little bit more of that. But again, like I said, I only have a few recipes in the recipe book I brought with me. So I need to start accumulating more British food recipes, if you know what I mean. But anyway, so all of a sudden it clicked for me, and I was thinking over the conversation, and I was like, wait a minute. My sister and her husband are having problems. And he immediately goes to, do you have a checking account? Do you have money? And then it clicked. And I was like, and like, I don't really get this that much, because as far as I was aware, my sister and her husband were totally on board with moving. I mean, as a matter of fact, my sister apparently even said to my parents that they would consider, matter of fact, she said that to me in the same group of emails we sent each other last October, that she was considering moving up to Iowa if they couldn't find a place to live. And I'm not getting into the whole thing. They were originally going to, because currently my sister and husband live in Florida. So you were planning on moving to Alabama, and mom and dad were going to get a place nearby. And see, that's where I probably erred because I thought it was more of, oh, okay, it's your turn to be close to the parents. It's your turn to keep an eye on them, to, you know, go to the grocery store with them. It's your turn to, you know, go over to the house and help mom with dinner or help with whatever needs done or whatever. I thought it was more of a, like a convenience kind of thing, if that makes sense. Like they were moving closer together so that they could be there for each other. And so I was perfectly fine with that. And I was like, that works. Then there's somebody looking at mom and dad. There's somebody who, well, take them to appointments if they need somebody to take them to appointments. That kind of thing. And, but I'm wondering if dad said something to Carrie that made Carrie be like, start to rethink the whole, like, I don't know. Like I said, I'm staying out of that conversation because it's not my place. I'm you know, it's doing my best not worry about it until Monday. But yeah. So my new theory is that my sister and her husband are having maybe some money issues, and they are worried that maybe my dad has been suggesting that, you know, oh, when we lived in this, you know, like, I don't know. Like, I just know what what my dad has said to me over the years. I know the trauma that I deal with, but I also know that my sister has gone through her own issues with dad over the years. And again, I'm not going to get into that because, you know, like I said, I shouldn't be telling stories, and this is going to be on the internet, and it's probably bad enough that I'm talking about this and being as vague as possible. But, like, growing up, you know, both my sister and I had our own issues with our father. And I guess the thing that just really bugs me is that, because I honestly, I thought we were at a good place. You know, I thought my dad and I were at a good place with each other because we were at the point where we had a routine where we got on with them on FaceTime every Sunday, sometimes Saturday if game night shifts or whatever. But, you know, usually on Sunday, and we talked, and, you know, there was never any, as far as I'm concerned, there was never any indication that something was wrong or that mom and her dad thought that, I was in trouble or anything like that. And like I have told them, I have kept them as up to date as I want to and as I can on my job hunt, and letting them know. I let them know about my interview at Tesco. I let them know about, other places I applied to and stuff. And so, I don't know, like I was just. Sorry, my itches. There we go. But yeah. So, like, I thought we were at a good place. I thought we were getting along, that especially my dad was more accepting of the way I was living my life. So, like, the weird thing is, my mom didn't say very much. And, like, she usually doesn't. Like, sometimes she'll say something to the effect of, you two just butt heads too much, you're too much alike, or you're your father's daughter, and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, that always bugged me growing up because, yeah, I may be somewhat like my dad, but that doesn't make me my dad's mini-me. I am not my dad. I don't even know what you would call it, because dad's not dead yet, My dad is still alive. So I don't understand the whole, I wouldn't call it reverence, but I would call it kind of, you're passing down your dad's traits, and stuff. And I'm like, what if I don't want to? Like, for example, that I mentioned with you guys, the road rage, what if I don't want to get overly angry about trying to drive? And, like, I don't have to worry about that anymore because I don't drive. I walk most everywhere. And now I'm thinking of that one video I posted where I kind of ranted about, not even getting like a little square inch of the sidewalk over here the other day. And so, And like I said, I think it was yesterday, I walked across the street to the co-op, cause I had like about a half bottle left of Diet Coke, and I was like, yeah, just go over, see what they had, do browsing and stuff. And I walk over there, and there's not very many people in the store. But then I end up feeling bad because the two people who I saw who were at the front of the store were doing stocking. Like they had brought stuff from the back or wherever they keep it, and they were stocking the shelves and the coolers and stuff. And so I felt bad because one of the places where I wanted to look was the meat coolers. And so, but, so I just browsed around. I did some looking, did some browsing, got myself a little bottle of Mountain Dew and stuff. Because I've been craving a little bit. And like I said, the co-op place does carry The little bottles, not like the 2 liters or whatever, but like the little ones, the little handheld sized ones. And so I got one of those, and then I got some, they have these bags of about 6 or 7 cookies of like various kinds, like chocolate chip. I ended up picking up things like double chocolate, where they have chocolate chunks, and then the dough is chocolate, and so I got some of those, and Keith and I shared that between us and everything. And so I was just like, I don't know. I just thought the West, and then I picked up. I always try to pick up at least one practical thing, whether that's ibuprofen for myself or I was going to get cough drops, but then I completely forgot. And so I was like, most of the stuff is food in the co-op, but there's this one aisle that has, like cleaning supplies and like dishwashing liquid and napkins, and even has those little, I don't know if I can find it, but it has these little tea light candles that are like battery operated. They have the actual, like, you light on fire with lighter candles. They have them in a whole pack of them. And so, but I didn't get them because, we're in a flat, and that's kind of one of the rules is you're not supposed to light things on fire in the building, and I totally understand that, so we'll stick with the battery operated candles. But yeah, so I don't know. I just had to come on and share with you guys. I was thinking about, do I want to, do this? But then I have a lot of, like, kind of cleaning to do. Like, I want to clean the bathroom, and I did some dishes. I want to sweep the floor, and, that kind of stuff. And so I was like, maybe I'll record a vlog, because I'm sure, like, I don't know if any of y'all are interested in this at all, and like I said, I probably won't be talking about this a whole lot after today, because, again, not really my business, and number two, there's not a whole lot I can do anyway. Like I said, until I get a job and can start making some money, it's like I didn't say anything at the time because I didn't realize it was about money, but now I'm like, Dad, talk to Keith. He's the breadwinner right now. He's the one who's making the money to, get us through. And also keep in mind that I'm not saying that Keith and I will send money to, because again, we don't know how much they need. We don't know if it's super serious or just a bump in the road. We don't know. I don't know what's going on. Like, that's the other thing that kind of makes me mad, is that I was made to feel like there's something wrong with me again. And keep in mind, my dad does this a lot, with me at least, Like, he'll try to make me feel like, I don't know if he tries to make me, but he definitely succeeds. He definitely does make me feel like I'm not worthy. Matter of fact, the last couple of days I was wearing one of my shirts, which I should probably get rid of because it's not only like got that cotton pilling thing going on because it's an older shirt, but it's also a little too tight on me right now because it's a smaller shirt. But I've been wearing it the last couple days because it says on it, "You are limitless." And, sometimes we need encouragement like that, even if it's not from another person, so to speak. But I do like to think of whoever made those shirts, like, if I made those shirts, or if I made shirts with a positive message, I would be like laying my hand on each one and being God and bless whoever you get to clothe in the future, or whatever. Like I'm a simple gal in some ways, like, if I'm feeling down, eating chocolate or, having Mountain Dew or whatever will usually cheer me up. And maybe that's why I ended up getting the Mountain Dew yesterday, was because not only because I was craving it, but because I was needing the serotonin or whatever it is. But yeah, so that, at least as far as I'm aware, is the deal. And again, like I say, keep in mind that I've not heard from either my parents or my sister or any members of my family since Monday. And like, I was never told why Dad was worried about me. I was never told what was going on. It was never explained to me. So that's why I spent most of yesterday and part of Monday after the FaceTime call just worrying about it and being like, what's going on, Because like I said, I was never told what the issue was. I was never told the issue was money. I just came to that conclusion on my own because to me it's what makes sense, But, yeah. So, anyway, on to the good news, or as Grumpy Old Crone would say, on to the positive bit. Not stealing her thing, that's her thing. But, yeah, on to the good news. I plan on tomorrow, if things go the way that I hope they should, I hope that tomorrow I will be uploading the next gameplay footage of the Moonlight. Why did I almost call it Moonlight Springs? Moonlight Peaks demo. And like I said, we'll probably have to wait a while before we can get the whole game because, unfortunately, just because I downloaded the demo does mean I get the game for free. And that's fine. You gotta make your money. I totally understand that. But at the same time, it's a little bit frustrating. Like, I was on YouTube yesterday and I kept seeing these videos pop up that are like from like cozy game, people who cover those games, and was like Moonlight Peaks tips and tricks. I'm like, do I want to spoil myself or do I want to, Of course, there's also, if you go to the Steam page and scroll down, you get to see the pictures of all the bachelors and bachelorettes. So, again, it's like, why are you taunting me? I want to play you so badly. But you're like 29 bucks and something. And it's like, I can't do that right now. And it's like, it's almost not fair, Because it's like, I want to play this game. I want to see what it's like. I want to get into the actual town area and meet everybody and, get to the actual game. But can't do that yet, And then I've got this game, Moonlight Peaks, that just came out, and then I've also got Grave Seasons, which is supposed to come out in August of some time. And it's like, like, I can't really afford to get either. And not that you guys should worry about it. I don't want you guys to give me money so I can play these games or anything. Because I've got a birthday coming up. And, if all else fails, I can talk Keith into buying me a Steam gift card or something. Which won't help with Grave Seasons because I'm getting that on the Switch. But there are also Nintendo Switch gift cards I could go for. So I'm not, and it's like if all else fails, maybe his mom would, like I said, I've got a birthday coming up. I've got 2 games. If I get a gift card, I can apply one to the Switch and I can apply one to Steam or whatever. I'm not worried about it. It's just a little disappointing because it's like, I want to be I want to be in the in-group. I want to be the ones who get to play the game when it first comes out, Because like I said, it's kind of like that debatey feeling. It's like, do I click on this video? Do I watch it? Or do I want to keep myself completely spoiler-free until I can play the game? Which I think is one of the reasons why a lot of the games I play are like older games. Because y'all know, like, how Stardew Valley goes. You all know how Oxenfree goes. You all know what to expect kind of from Oxenfree. Or, or like Sunhaven when you used to play that, but before it became unplayable for me, and I still don't know what the issue was, but anyway, that's a whole other conversation we could have. And I've been babbling at you guys long enough. So I should probably let you go, especially so I can get back to finishing dishes and cleaning and all that stuff. But yeah, I'm hoping, fingers crossed, unless something comes up, I'm hoping that tomorrow I should be able to upload the next part of Moonlight Peaks demo for you guys. Hopefully. again, like I said, fingers crossed. And let me know if there's any other games you guys want me to play. Let me know, because we still need to get back to Tiny Bookshop. But like I mentioned in the past, we should probably start a completely new playthrough. Because, my 2 current playthroughs I have of that game, I've gotten the shop from Hilda, I think is her name, Hilda, something like that. But yeah, she is the one who transferred ownership from the shop to us. And so, also, I don't know if that's a spoiler. I don't know if we've gotten that far. But yeah, whoops, spoiler. Yeah, we eventually get Hilda's old bookshop store. And we can decorate it with, decorated, and we can sell books there. I still like going out and doing the mobile bookshop, just because we can reach more places and that kind of stuff. But, yeah, so other than that, so I might start that again next, but we are gonna play through the rest of the demo first. So, if you guys haven't gotten a chance to play the game or see anybody else play the game, feel free to tune in tomorrow. But yeah, so anyway, I just wanted to finish my thoughts from yesterday in case any of you were wondering. I wonder how that family thing turned out. And it's like, suffice to say that I don't know 100%, but I'm pretty sure that it's some money reason why I was being asked all those questions yesterday. Or Monday. Gosh, it's Thursday already. I know. It just seems like this week has just flown by. It'll soon be Saturday again, and we'll have, game night again and get to experience all that fun stuff. But yeah, so as far as I'm planning, look, as something else comes up, look to tomorrow. You should be seeing the next portion of Moonlight Peak's demo gameplay drop. So, anyway, thanks again for letting me talk to you guys for a bit to kind of share what's going on in my brain. It really helps to actually talk to somebody about what I'm thinking, But yeah, so don't have to leave a comment or anything unless you want to. But yeah, I hope you guys have a good day, a good rest of your week, and like I said, look forward to tomorrow. There should be more gameplay coming.